You're listening to Zero Hour, a Scarlet Rhapsody podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Zero Hour. We are on our second episode of the year 2020. Can you believe it? Only 1 month in, we already got 2 episodes.
Can we space out these events more than every week? Can we go every other week maybe? Or every 3 weeks?
We had ALA last weekend, which we weren't really at, and then we also had Long Beach Comic Expo, which you were at.
I was. There's a whole podcast you can listen to, and I recommend you do.
And then we were at Anime Impulse for a day. We went on Saturday just to check things out. We were technically at Anime Impulse, quote-unquote, like a couple years ago when we were working with PMX, and it was more focused with Asian American Expo, which was like the overall arching event here. So we'll get more into that later.
We're going to break down how this convention's kind of... or I don't even think we call it a convention per se, but like this show...
It's a showcase.
Showcase, thank you.
So, if you're familiar with Disney World, there's Epcot. Epcot has different pavilions themed to different things. And this con is kind of like... well, showcase is kind of formatted in a similar kind of situation. You have the anime pavilion. You have BlushCon, the makeup pavilion, and then you have Asian American Expo, which has different sub-pavilions, such as food, such as shopping, like little trinkets and knickknacks, also adoption of cats, Toyota, and various cars. So you have like these different pavilions at the Pomona Fairplex. Pomona Fairplex is not really a convention center. It actually was built to hold the LA County Fair, which I haven't gone to in like decades.
It also occasionally gets concerts and stuff like that too, which I'm like, either that's a really kick-ass outdoor concert, or they use one of those huge like hangar buildings, and I'm like, the acoustics there might make me worried about the concert.
So the space is pretty huge. I mean, it does get a little bit crowded at times, but the best way I can describe this is kind of like the Epcot of like events that we've attended, because like there's different pavilions showcasing different things. Even all the anime stuff was divided into 2 different pavilions. You had the gaming room pavilion, which was lumped in with Artist Alley, and you also had the dealers hall pavilion, which had the dealers, and you also had the autographs from the Fire Emblem voice actor guest.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like there was a lot to explore in a day. This is definitely a day con. We didn't bother going on Sunday because, like, it's our first time. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't have press credentials for this. The price for this convention was relatively cheap, about like $10 to $12 per person for a 1 day. It's like, let's check it out. I mean,
parking is also relatively inexpensive considering this. Southern California, parking can sometimes skyrocket up.
Parking can be about $20.
Yeah.
Or like $16. So it was $12 per day, and they do take cash or credit, because I know there's some parking lots that are pretty anal about taking cash, particularly if you're in the Los Angeles area. So I'm always cognizant about having cash with me, but they actually did take card at this one. But what would have been nice is if they had like a sign that says like $12 parking.
Yeah, that's one thing we noticed when we're pulling in. There aren't like traditional booths like you would see in most parking lots. It's just there was just a person standing there. And no sign that says it's $12, no sign cash or credit. It's just you just go up and you talk to the lady. So we were already preparing cash monies, and it's like, oh, do you take credit? Yes, we do. Well, anyhow, here's the cash.
And it was also funny too, because like you could tell like who was there for Anime Impulse, because
oh my god,
it was hilarious because they were like cosplayers like at the driver's wheel. Like I actually ran into my buddy, what's her name? She cosplays as Snow White, and she was like pulling in with her Mazda. I was cosplaying as Sayla from Gundam, and I was like just pulling in with our Honda. It's like, yeah, just cosplayers driving in character. I thought that was hilarious.
And every other car, you could see either plushes in the window, or the little window
anime
decals,
stickers,
or bumper stickers of various series and what have you. So, yeah, you can totally tell who was there for that. I do kind of appreciate it. Just all these nerds are like, I'm grown up. I have my own automobile. I'm going to put my fandom on my automobile.
And it was funny, too, because my friend who was cosplaying as Snow White, she actually said, like, you know what, I was kind of lost, so I decided to follow this car that had, like, this anime plush. Like, they're probably headed in the same direction. Like, good call. Because we were also kind of lost, too, because I put the directions in Google Maps, and they led us to, like, this neighborhood area. And then, like, okay, if I can look up Gate 9, because that's where they told us to park for the Pomona Fairplex, we can work our way around there, because I was actually taking advice from your dad. It's like, yeah, just keep right, it'll be the first exit, and blah, blah, blah. Like, even though I was relying on the GPS, sometimes when you talk to a human, they might have some better advice to get to from point A to point B without relying on GPS.
Who's been there before helps.
And I know your dad does, like, a lot of driving around, and he knows, like, a lot of shortcuts, and he kind of, like, knows just how to, like, cheat the GPS at times. So I actually took your dad's advice to take the first exit. But then again, like, we were looking for signs, because your dad told us, like, yeah, there'd be signs just telling you to go to the Fairplex. I'm like, where's the signs? And then, like, we were just relying on the GPS, which we're still kind of were, but, like, okay, if we're lost, the GPS can guide us through. But even then, the GPS is also wrong. So, like, okay, let me just pull aside, and just look up Gate 9 on Google
Well, I think we got
Maps.
off on the wrong exit.
No, your dad said, it's like, okay, just get on the 10 freeway, take the first exit. And the first exit was Dudley, I think, when the GPS said, like, oh, just get off at the second exit.
He may have meant the second. He may have meant that. He may have made a little mistake there. But like I said, I think we got the wrong exit. I think he may have mixed something up. Usually he's better with his directions. He's also old. But that's even aside the point. It wasn't that hard for us to find where we needed to go once we needed to get there. But also bear in mind, there's a lot of entrances to the Fairplex. So that's also an issue, is, you know, make sure you're going into the right entrance when going to this event. If you see people with Japanime stuff on their cars, you're probably going the right direction. Just follow them.
And getting parking was too much of an issue. It's like Disneyland parking, if you're parking in the Toy Story a lot.
Tons of room.
So you don't have to worry about fighting for parking. You don't have to it's not like Anime Expo where you have to worry, like, I'm going to have to walk far because I have to park all the way at the LA Live lot where it's like $40. Oh. And here we're like, okay, it's a huge open lot, easy to remember our parking space, D20, and just roll right up at the gates.
Yeah, we just all walked there, followed other people. Going through the gates, it was easy if you already had your ticket online or whatever. You just showed them your little
QR code thing. Just scan you right in. They were still selling tickets at the door too, but I usually like to purchase mine early in advance and then just get that out of the way.
After that, you walk into the general area and you can immediately smell the food. And it didn't feel that crowded when we first got there. I know we got there around, 11?
We got there around 11, and we all were like, okay, we're hungry right now. Let's go grab our pre-orders from Okamoto Kitchen.
I want to point out that by the time we got to about 1, when we were done eating and what have you, and we're just starting our exploration, oh my gosh, did a lot of people show up after, like, we got there. The numbers, like, really, really increased. And in terms of demographic, like, it's everything. Because of Asian American Expo and the makeup con, whatever it's called, BlushCon. There was a huge variety of people. That was really nice to see a bunch of anime fans, a bunch of cosplayers running around and stuff like that. That it was nice. It had a nice, friendly, I'd call it atmosphere, but it's really not atmosphere. It felt more like being at like a mall, I guess. It's hard for me to find a good explanation for the feeling of just everyone wandering around. And, you know, no one really causing any trouble. Lots of ambient music. And
it's a weeb mall.
It's kind of a weeb mall, yeah.
So, the first thing we did was we went to Okamoto Kitchen. There was like a food truck area-ish. And what the nice thing at Okamoto Kitchen was doing is they were taking pre-orders prior to the con. They started doing this at Anime Expo. I ended up doing it at an Anime Expo. Just like, okay, I like to have food prepared not too long because I had made that mistake at LA Comic-Con, and by God, never again I will ever have to wait an hour for fries.
Yeah, that was one of our worst choices.
Never again. So like, okay, these cats, they take pre-order, so I went for my gyudon bento, and they had their exclusive Anime Impulse bento. Okamoto Kitchen, they've been doing some exclusive bento themes for various anime conventions. Last weekend they did that for Anime in Los Angeles, and now they have one for for Anime Impulse. I wanted to try the Anime Los Angeles one, but I heard, like, oh yeah, they were kind of gated off from, like, the Publix, because I was like, okay, it's a food truck, might be in a public area, I could probably just drop by and try it, because I love supporting Okamoto Kitchen, and they make my favorite chicken karaage, so yeah, finally got a chance to just have them for lunch, and pre-ordering was like one of the best decisions I've made about this con, other than going.
Yeah, it really cut down the wait time for the food.
Because the line for Okamoto Kitchen, if you've ever seen them at your local convention in Southern California, the line gets long.
And there's a reason for that. It's really good.
And you could check out our review on the Anime Impulse Bento on our sister channel, Eat the Magic.
Yep.
And you do a whole review on the Anime Impulse box, and we also have footage of, like, the food and everything, so yeah, check that out. Eat the Magic on YouTube.
Yeah, for those who have not had the chance to see that or are unaware of my review series. Also, you get to see me in costume.
Oh yeah, what costumes did we wear, Jared?
Well, you already said you went as Salem Mass, because you've recently been going through a major Gundam thing.
I've been fast-tracking through the UC Gundam series, thanks to this cat right here.
It's one of my favorite franchises, up there with Lupin the Third in terms of anime franchises, and possibly just all franchises in general. Right now, because of how certain sci-fi franchises have been treated, it probably might be my favorite sci-fi franchise at this point, which is kind of sad.
Ditto right there. Because the thing was, like, when I was in high school, I was Gundam Wing trash, and if
We
it didn't
all were.
and if it wasn't like the Backstreet Boys from Gundam Wing, I wasn't having it. So, like, that's why I was like, okay, I just wanted to stay focused within this AU, and yeah, just my friends and I were just Gundam Wing trash.
There was a whole load of manga. I think every side story manga for Gundam Wing actually got released here in the States.
And then it's not until recently, it's like, let me just try out some old school anime, because also growing up, I was shoujo trash. I was, like, rom-com trash, comedy, all that, fun stuff. I wasn't really much into, like, sci-fi or, like, sci-fi type animes back then, unless it was Macross. So I just recently got into it, love it, and then, like, I'll admit, one of my excuses for going to Anime Impulse was, like, I need to make the Salem Masa cosplay, I need to wear it, and our next anime convention is not till Fanime, because we're not going to Anime Boston this year. It's like, I know it hurts, it really hurts. And I'm like, I need to wear Salem Moss. I need to wear it to a convention. I need to, like, just be a nerd, because it's just been a while since I've really gotten into a series, and then just felt so passionate about it. Like, okay, I need cosplay as these characters. I made Sayla in 2 days, and then, like, yay, I get to wear her. And you know what? I'm just gonna let this out there. I'm gonna wear her to WonderCon, because I love this costume so much. I'm gonna wear it to WonderCon.
And I brought out Casual Gilgamesh from Fate because...
Filthy casual.
It's what was in my room, because I wore it to make a video for Cosplay Wrestling Federation. For those who are familiar with that, you can watch my video there. And so because it was in my room, that's what I put on. Because that's my level of cosplay preparedness for a convention. I'm like, hey, that's on my floor. I can put that back on. And that's what I did.
The end. But you got some compliments as a filthy casual Gil.
I did. And would have been fun to go Gundam with you and do some Gundaming.
Yeah, but your bright cosplay is still in customs.
Yep. And I don't have any other characters right now. For now.
We're looking forward to Fanime, because we're just like, we're totally busting out all the Gundam UC goodness.
Best part is, because Bright's uniform is worn by so many different characters, honestly, half the time I could just change a wig or just do my hair differently, and it goes as characters.
And we'll make sure to get Chris and Bernie done, because we need to, like, just get you, like, eating at Johnny Rockets.
Yeah.
For those of you who get the meme.
Because one of the things I was thinking, like, had it arrived, because I wasn't sure on the weather, I'm like, I might just get lazy, not comb my hair in the morning, and then just not button up the jacket, and just go as Shiro Amada from 8th MS team, because he always wears his jacket completely open. You just see his undershirt under it, and just in his pants. When he actually wears it, half the time he also just takes it off and just walks around in his undershirt, which I'm like, I'm not doing that.
However, while we were having lunch, I was wearing my shades because the sun was really bright. Like, it's January, in Southern California, it doesn't get this warm. And I was like, okay, let me just wear my shades because the sun's a little bit too bright in my eyes right now. And I was just taking a couple of drink selfies because we had the black cherry soda. And then I posted on my Instagram stories, and our friend Ramses was all like, are you Sayla cosplaying as her brother? I'm like, dang it, I can't unsee it now.
I was going to make that joke in the car because you were using the shades while driving. And I was like, I want to make a joke. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to disrupt her while she's driving.
And it also didn't help that we were like listening to like Andrew WK's Gundam Covers album on the drive over.
By the way, if you have not listened to Gundam Rock, may I highly recommend listening to Andrew WK's Gundam Rock. It is a cheesy album I discovered a long time ago, and I've slowly but surely introduced it to other Gundam fans going, this is amazing, it's done by Andrew WK because he's apparently a big nerd. I used to have to be a big nerd to be into Gundam. What you have to be is either a rock star, a stormtrooper, or me. There's just 3 options. And if anyone knows which stormtrooper, former stormtrooper, is a fan of Gundam, then we can be friends.
Anyway, so we decided to just do some wandering around after like having lunch. So we went to the Asian American Expo side because I know you had to look for a bathroom. And then we went to like the food side. So there was like this pavilion that sold like marketplace kind of food, like snacks, perishables and non-perishables.
Every once in a while, oh, you know what I should have looked for? I should have looked for
chocobos.
Chocobos.
Chocobo chocolates.
Should have looked for the chocobos.
And
Chocoboro.
There were some places that were like handing out free samples, and like I just kind of just even walking around this place, like okay, that makes the $12 per day ticket worth it. And there was also this row of just different Asian food vendors. But I admit, like, there's one section that got a little bit too potent for my senses. Because, believe it or not, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, we were at Asian American Expo several years ago because you were hosting the fashion show.
Yes, I was.
And we were just kind of just mentally just trying to, like, just remember where everything was as we were exploring around. And I was like, okay, yes, I remember that smell. It was super potent. And I'm like, yeah, I need to step inside and whatnot. I mean, it's not anything bad. It's not like elephant fart.
I thought it was terrible. I wanted to throw up.
Mm-hmm. It was just really strong. Like, I just kind of had to, like, just step out.
Yeah,
or rather step in.
There's a lot of smells. There's, like, the weird, like, almost like a candlewood smell. I smelled it a couple times, and I was like, is someone burning incense, or what the hell is that?
Yeah, you'll smell that sandalwood scent in a lot of Asian type events.
And then one of the cooking, I don't know if it was kimchi or what the heck they were making, but it was noxious, and I wanted to throw up.
It was very meaty, but a very strong kind of meaty. It's like,
It's some sort of weird, whatever weird spices they're using and how it's being cooked, it makes this weird plume of death.
And we went to the other pavilion, which had the adoptable kitties.
Well, they had more than just that. It was a bunch of other little things. One of the places they did have was a cat adoption thing, and it broke my heart to not bring one home. And then some weirdo had their Yip Yip dog. I wanted to, like, just put that in, like, a cannon, launch it to the moon.
But yeah, the kitties were really cute. They had like this fluff cat, like this Maine Coon that was very friendly and really liked to be petted. And then you said like you saw like this blonde kind of a mix of a cat.
Yeah, it was a white cat with like a blondish like head down its back kind of thing. I know there's a proper name for that breed. I do not remember what the term is for it. And he was like my buddy, or she. I don't know. I didn't look up its cat skirt.
And then there was like this kitty that was like. This kitten who was like black and stuff and was super friendly and super jumpy and super excited and was trying to like paw at my drink.
It's the way I described a cat in one of my books, being like that.
Like, oh, I wish I could take you home, but we have this spastastic dog.
Oh my!
That barks at everyone and everything.
Dogs.
And the only way you can tell it to STFU is like quote a certain song with lyrics that go like "Sit down and be humble." I've actually meowed at that dog to get him to be quiet.
You make certain kinds of noises and he'll quiet down.
No, you look him in the eye and you just give him like the nastiest meow.
Because when Ramses saw him, Ramses was like, "Cállate!" And he just like sat. And like, oh, I wonder if his original owners were Hispanic.
Anywho, so we just kind of like just wander around the Asian American Expo side, just kind of like just seeing the different things they had. They had like belly dancers, had Brazilian dancers. It was pretty cultural. They had things relating to the Lunar New Year. We're celebrating Year of the Rat. And
Yay.
yeah, I mean, I'm year to rat. I prefer my Greek zodiac sign Leo because that's more to my personality. I'm not really like my Chinese zodiac at all. I mean, I'm like Toru. Like, can I just claim you're the cat because I said so? Because I like the cat and I sympathize with the cat because the rat's a kind of a jerk.
Look, if there's not going to be a bunch of Yuki cosplayers wandering around this year, I'm going to be highly annoyed.
Hey,
I don't
Stan,
even like Yuki, but...
Stan, get your Yuki cosplay back and just wear Yuki and wear your Chargers hats.
Yeah.
I still think you would make a pretty awesome Haru, the cow guy.
I could pull off Haru, yeah.
Because you have his demeanor. Both of you are delinquents.
Yeah.
And the lengths you'll go to prove things. Anyway. And then we went to the anime side. So middle of the day, like we were under this impression, like, okay, we're probably going to spend most of our time at the anime side, but we equally spent, like, a lot of time, like, both at the anime side and over at the Asian American Expo side. Because we ended up just getting boba at the Asian American Expo side, which was great because, like, the thing about this whole event is there's, like, while there was in-and-out privileges, food is all around you. Snacks is all around you. So you don't have to go off-site.
Well, one, going off-site would be a pain because you're either going to have to walk a really long distance.
Or you have to, like, exit and pay for parking again.
So,
I mean, you could go back to your car and put things away.
that would be the smart choice if you did all your shopping first and then wanted to
just kind of let you know just kind of how consolidated this area is. But at the same time, a lot of the food there is pretty affordable, and yeah, the drinks that we had were pretty good because we just like, I just kind of feel like just kind of like just chill, just people watch, just enjoy our boba. There's a lot of really great cosplayers at this con. I saw a couple of Mikus, saw a couple of Cardcaptor Sakuras in like her Summer Renew outfits. Of course, there's going to be a lot of Demon Slayer cosplayers and My Hero Academia cosplayers. Can't complain because I know, like, okay, you have a con that's, like, this affordable, so, like, you know what, why not? Have
Under
fun.
other circumstances, I probably just would have gone for My Hero. That's also a pretty comfy costume to just wear.
Well, you're just wearing, like, the tracksuit.
Yes, wearing the tracksuit. I saw a couple of people in the tracksuit. I saw several Naruto people of varying different characters, not just like, oh, yep, more Narutos. It was like, oh, there's a bunch of Akatsuki people. Oh, there's a Sakura. Oh, there's a Naruto. Oh, there's a Kakashi and stuff like that. I was like, oh, that's nice to see. Saw little kid Goku, which was great. I mean, it was a little kid as Super Saiyan Goku.
That's awesome.
Because there is a kid Goku, but I mean, like, I saw that, and I thought that was really cute. I'm like, oh, that's adorable. And then it got me in this whole thing of wanting to get my nephew and, like, when he gets old enough, dress him up like Kid Goku and make him take a skateboard and modify it to have a Nimbus on it so he could just Nimbus around a con.
Yeah, I want to get my niece to cosplay as young Minerva from Zeta Gundam, and I run around as Amon.
That'd be great, though.
Hey, Sophie, cosplay as this princess. You like princesses, right? Right?
She's a space princess. The best kind of princess. And I'll go as Glimmy. We'll all have a whole Neo Zeon family, sort of. I mean, family that absolutely hates each other, but family nonetheless. But yeah, it was kind of nice seeing the variety of cosplayer. Lots of Fates people.
Yeah, that made me happy. Well, you were also one of the Fate people, too.
I was one of them, so.
I just find it funny that you were just kind of like just hanging out, just trying to play like some of your mobile games, and like right across from you, there was an Ishtar in her maid outfit and a Saber in her maid outfit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they weren't even that far from me, and you took the photo, I'm like, oh, there you go.
And then while we were waiting for Boba, there was a Berserker, and there was also a Sulfo.
Yep.
So yeah, a lot of
I need a Nastafo friend, because I have Sig from Apocrypha, and I need Nastafo to run around with.
My cousin's boyfriend can help you there.
I know, I was thinking about that. Like, for 4th Anime, I need to call Richie and be like, Richie, can I borrow your boyfriend? Not like you're thinking. I need him to dress up like Nastafo so we can have adventures. Because it'd be fun for photo shoots and, like, running around and just being, like... Well, he actually seems pretty chill like me. So it's someone who doesn't seem like the character, dressing it like that character. So I'm like, I wonder if the person, it's one of those, like, when you're in character, you're like, yeah, let's do it! Oh, da, 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 da. And then, the rest of the time it's like, hey, what's up? Yeah, it's cool. I don't know. But yes, that crossed my mind when I saw that stuff. I was like, I need to make sure to contact Richie before we meet up at a con. I really liked the variety of costumes. I liked that people were pretty chill. One of the costumes that kind of like blew me away, and the guy was like changing out of it right as we sat across from him, was someone went as a Gundam. I couldn't tell because I saw him from behind. It was a black and white themed one, so I'm feeling it was probably one of the IBO suits, Iron-Blooded Orphans, for those who don't know, because that's what it kind of looked like seeing the parts and pieces, but I can't quite tell from behind because a lot of Gundams look very similar from behind. But it was still sad to like see him stripping out of that, and I'm just sitting next to a Salem Moss cosplayer. I'm like, I have a Gundam person right here. Guy.
At the same time, I didn't want to bother them because it looks like they were trying to get it out of something that was cumbersome. So like, I didn't want to inconvenience them.
Well, as soon as I realized they were taking it off, I was like, oh, never mind. I like, just if this guy is at that stage, don't re-put on the stuff because you're overheating or whatever.
I had to do a double take because that was the second time that day where I'm like, wait, am I high? Am I just like seeing things or hearing things?
I've seen people do a bodysuit Gundam before. My favorite...
Only because like I've just been so immersed in Gundam for like the past like 2 months. I'm like, okay, are you? Am I seeing this right? You know?
Didn't one of your friends actually go as the Wing Gundam?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not an uncommon thing to see.
I know it's not an uncommon thing to see, but I just had to like just do a double take. Like, wait, am I seeing things? Am I just too much in fangirl land here?
No. But then again, yeah, it'd be one of those really awkward moments if you went up to someone and it's like, no, I'm Omega Shenron from Dragon Ball GT, because he also has horns on his head like that, and he's white with like.
Because you and I kind of had that same experience. Because while we were like having
patches,
lunch, I thought I heard someone say like, "Oh hey, Gundam," and then
there was an older Asian man. He looked over and he says, I don't know what the whole sentence was, but I heard the word Gundam.
I heard the word Gundam too, and I was like, nah, I'm hearing things.
And I'm like, no, that guy probably grew up with the show. And he's like, oh, someone knows Gundam. It's probably what he said in whatever foreign language he said it in. It was probably something like, someone knows Gundam, or that person's dressed from Gundam. Didn't want a photo or anything, just walked by and made comment.
Anywho, so we went around the artist alley, which was surprisingly pretty huge.
And a bit crowded for me.
Yeah, it was pretty crowded. There's like a lot of people just going up and down the aisles. Saw a lot of Demon Slayer keychains. Saw a lot of fake keychains. There was this one booth that had a lot of Bandori keychains. So just kind of walking up and down, just kind of seeing what was there. Also in this area, you had like the gaming rooms. So they had like electronic gaming where you can like just go log in on a desktop and just do like e-gaming or just use console gaming. And they also had an arcade section which had like Dance Dance Revolution and just a couple of standard arcade games.
It wasn't really large for a gaming zone, but for what kind of event this was, I think it was more than adequate.
Also, this is where they have the panels. Well, panel. Because the way it was set up was you had Artist Alley as you entered in. Middle was your gaming zone, and then towards the back was the stage where you had panels sit down and people can like just gather around the panel area. No seats. Just kind of like to stand up or sit down or just kind of like just gather in close.
It reminded me of the main stage at LA Comic-Con, how there's just like a stage and you just gather around. There's no seats or anything. Also the same level of like terrible acoustics, because that stage is inside the dealer hall and it has terrible acoustics and everything echoes and it's hard to understand what the person is saying.
Because it did cross my mind, like, maybe we should submit for panels. I don't know if we're going to this con, but I just kind of want to see how it plays out first. And I was trying to tell, like, what panel that they were doing, because, like, wait, is this, like, an Anime Anonymous kind of panel? Because the way they sounded like it was, like, Alcoholics Anonymous. Or, like, hi, my name is so-and-so. My favorite anime character is XYZ. But you said, like, it sounded like it was like how anime like help my life.
Yeah, because one person's talking about how like they related to Deku, and now Deku, is like, oh, I'm not going to be weak anymore. I'm going to be strong. It's about potential, not weakness, and that like that inspired him. And the next person was talking about how like Naruto and in his trials, I think it was Naruto, they said, and his trials and stuff made that person, blah blah. And then we walked away. But that's the feeling I got. Is like, oh, this is talking about like how anime inspired your life or made you a better person or what have you. And I think any person who's been into anime for, say, over 5 years has found a character who they relate to, or who is like an inspiration or what have you. Mine was Lupin the Third.
Mine was Utena from Revolutionary Girl Utena.
We are old.
Old, but we're awesome.
Old, but not obsolete. So, yeah, we both found an old school character we kind of got into. I think if I'd have been introduced to classic Mobile Suit Gundam or the other continuations of, I probably would have found someone from there. Likely Bright, or knowing me in high school, probably Char. Char probably would have been my spirit animal. Wait, he did what? Oh man, that's what I want to do when I get older. I want to revenge my family too. Or at least, actually, it wouldn't even be a point of wanting to be Char. I'd want to be one of his subordinates. I'd want to fight alongside Char. That just sounds like the coolest freaking job in the world. Until I get inevitably killed, because every one of his wingmen get killed.
I just want to be Nanai. There.
That's strong. I think now that I've gotten older, I do relate a lot more to Amuro. And Bright, being constantly frustrated having to be a commander of a military unit and a babysitter at the same time. And I feel that way all the time, especially at conventions. I am a commander and a babysitter at the same time.
Anywho, I think if that panel was going in that direction, I kind of would prefer that panel kind of like into more of like a private, just kind of like behind closed doors kind of setting. Because like, yeah, this is, if the panel was going in that direction, I kind of would like to hear more about that, like, kind of like how fandom just kind of like just shaped you in your formative years, and just kind of like how anime characters just kind of like, you know, inspired you to be the person you are. Because I've done a couple high school talks to theater groups, to theater clubs, like along the same kind of topic. Like I address bullying, I address mental health, and just kind of like how my nerdy fandoms just kind of helped me cope, like during those times where I felt alone, or like I just kind of needed like people that I could relate to, but they weren't present in my life. So I always enjoy those types of panels, and I hope to see these cats at the next con that we hit up, because I think this topic matter is pretty interesting.
Versus me, where I'm going a different direction. I'm like, this would actually be a really interesting, like, Stage 0 thing.
Pitches to Rob Miles.
Yeah. But, I like I said, if that's what the panel actually was, it was hard to tell from a little bit of hearing that. My bigger issue is the acoustics are not good in one of those giant hangars. And I think that would be my frustration, where I'm going to hear an echo of myself, or no one's going to, or my voice will just be echoing and no one's going to hear what we're saying. It looked like there was some AV stuff there, but I don't know how reliable that would be.
There was a screen right behind them, but I kind of wish they had like the panel title and maybe like the panelists' names, or like their social media handles, because at least I would have been able to tell, like, oh, this is us talking about how fandom kind of help us cope. Because
for all I know, it's just like, hey, let's talk about shonen series we like. Because, again, that's Naruto and My Hero Academia, two popular shonen series.
Because I made that joke in my head.
Next person could say DBZ, you know?
Because I made that joke in my head along the lines like, wait, this sounds like an Anime Anonymous panel.
Yeah, so little things like that probably would have ruined my experience if, you know, oh, we have a screen behind you, but we don't have any plugs for it. And I go, well, then what the F's the point of this? Like, I know I would have started to go Axl Rose. I just know I would have. For those who don't know, Axl Rose is notorious for losing his cool and storming off stage. And while I usually have someone preventing me from storming off stage, it has happened before. Or I throw a massive attitude. Like, I can get that way if I get very frustrated with how an event is run. And the problem is, Anime Impulse doesn't deserve that, but I think that's how I may have reacted. Mm-hmm. And for next year, the only reason I would do a panel is if it requires no AV type thing. Which, we do have panels that could potentially work that way, or better yet, as we learned from when we had AV issues at LA Comic Con, we just have Stan draw everything. And that was the best.
That was amazing.
That was really the best. And so I wouldn't be against doing that. I will I would love to do my Super Robot panel and just have Stan draw everything again. It would be great. So there are options, but I think if I went the AV route, I think I'd be very frustrated, and I am so glad I didn't, sabotage my experience at Anime Impulse, because despite it getting a little overwhelming sometimes, because there was a lot of people, but the bigger problem, it's a lot of space too. But inside, like the dealer hall or the artist alley, places like that, it gets crunched.
It gets pretty bottlenecked.
Yeah, and that became an issue. And I'm glad that this is popular for sure. But like, some of those times I needed to like get out of like the dealer hall and sit down for like 10 minutes. I just played a game on my phone.
The good news is with this con, there's like a lot of places cool off and catch a breather. So you're not, even though it's like an Asian American Expo type of thing, there's like a lot of people, different generations and ages there for different reasons. There's still places where you can kind of just sit down and chill.
Also, phone connection is terrible.
Yes.
I have an iPhone XR, so it's not like I have some low-tier phone. And I can barely get a connection. So I say gaming, it's more waiting with load screens and occasionally able to do something.
For me, I was trying to make some connections on social media. I actually ran into a friend who I haven't seen since we moved to Boston. And like, yeah, like, I remember you moved to Boston, like, hey, let's keep in touch again. And we were just trying to exchange our Instagram information. Like, the QR code wouldn't even load or anything. And when I was paying for that Saber Nesso, the person had to, like, just wave their phone around just so they can get signal.
Oh, for credit card stuff, yeah. I paid in cash.
Good call.
for my Gunpla. Because, of course, I picked up Gunpla. Why would I not pick up Gunpla?
And, yeah, let's go to the dealer's room next. So the dealer's hall, they had, like, I decided to just go a little exploring around. They have your usual plush booths. I ended up picking up a Saber Nesso because I've been wanting to have a Saber Nesso for my car.
And she's in her civilian clothes, which is really cute. I didn't know they'd put her in her civilian clothes. I figured she'd just be in her standard battle outfit.
I've seen the civilian clothes one out for a while, but I wanted to wait. Like, maybe they have a different variant. They maybe have her in her travel outfit. Maybe they have her in her usual blue outfit that you see in the game. Like, but, I'll settle with her casual outfit. So we went home with my Saber Nesso, like, at the back seat of my car, just kind of like, yes, I added another weeby thing to my Honda Civic. I don't drive a Honda.
Do not have a Civic.
I added.
Oh my god.
I'm chill.
You drive an Accord. You've an
class. Accord Sport.
Yeah, you have class. Thank you very much.
That was funny because, like, just seeing the sea of Toyotas
oh my God,
and the sea of Civics in that parking lot with the anime stickers.
It's kind of funny because it's like everyone's driving a Japanese car, and I loved it. I was just like, oh my gosh, everyone has a Japanese car.
And I spotted the one Ford Fiesta, like, Ford, what are you doing here?
It's up there with, they had the Hyundai little section there, and I was like, oh, Koreans. Cool.
So they had a Toyota section in the anime dealer's hall. You know what we didn't see? We didn't see the Xeonic Yaris.
Yeah, it would have been nice, just as a display piece. But even though it's really silly that
drives a hatchback.
Drive a hatchback.
I get it's Japan. You want like something more compact, but a hatchback? You already effing read comic.
I feel he'd drive like a Jeep.
No.
Something off-road. He seems to really like the countryside.
No, that's not sexy.
No, it doesn't need to look. Dude rides around on a horse half the time.
That's sexy.
Yeah, I know. All he needs is like the opened up like shirt, and he'd just be the cover of like every romance novel.
Yes.
I'm sure reasonable. I have a horse.
Yes. Yeah, I have a horse, and then Amuro headbutts you.
It's supposed to be a tackle. It's not a headbutt.
It was super effective until Quest showed up.
But oh god. All right. The point is, the dealer hall was like the Toyota side of things, and it had quite a variety. Also, it's kind of fun once you get the Saber Nesso, and it's just me just as Gil walking around with a Saber Nesso.
It's like, Jay, hold my Saber Nesso. Like, it's like, why do I have to? Oh yeah, like, I'm just as Gil.
This is in character. I have my own Saber now. So that was actually kind of fun. There's a few pictures of me that I'm hoping that I'm looking forward to seeing how those turned out.
They turned out adorable. And it's funny because I also cosplay as Saber too. And for Dapper Day, we're probably going to go as Dapper versions of the servants because we're weebs.
More than likely, but we'll worry about that when we get to Dapper Day.
Indeed. And then, so we just dealer's hall, they also had like decals, because another thing that was really popular and was very prominent at Anime Impulse was the Yatasha cars.
Mm-hmm.
So Yatasha cars, I don't know if they're a thing outside of California, or at least in or at least outside of Southern California, but they're just like these anime decorated cars that have like waifus on them.
I think they probably do appear at other conventions just because people travel, and some of these are probably owned by specific companies. Especially,
No, they're all personal.
Oh, are they personalized?
Yes.
Take that, Star Cars.
Yeah, I actually do follow. I just followed one of them on Instagram, and they have a Nozomi themed car,
Mm-hmm.
but it's Nozomi like in Imperial gear from Star Wars.
All right.
I'm like,
That
I need a cosplay of this.
kind of suits her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I always think of her for the Shrine Maiden-y stuff, but whatever.
And he also had like another thing with Kanan in Imperial officer garb carrying a katana.
She's a little too free-spirited, I feel, for that. But that's fine. Look, combining your two favorite fandoms is fine.
And I'm looking at this like, I want to wear this for Star Wars Celebration because I love pissing off Star Wars fans.
Yeah, they would bitch and moan about that.
I don't care. I'm doing it.
I think if I was going to do a crossover thing, I'd rather have, like, Love Live characters plus Gundams. Because they're both made by Sunrise. They're both Sunrise properties. So the idea of just having, like, you know, my car, like, having, like, a Xeon thing, and then having, you know, Ariase, Nozame, and maybe, like, on one side, and on the other side I could put on... gotta think... Yeah, we'll do Aquars on the other side. And I'll have Kanan and Mari on the other side wearing, like, the Xeon uniforms. That'd be pretty sexy, I think. And everyone would be like, "You're such a nerd." And I'm like, "I am." Oh, but, like, that, or, of course, the ultimate car, a Haro-themed car.
That'd be awesome. I was also on the hunt for, like, Haro merchandise, because I kind of want a Haro plush.
I have never seen a Haro plush, and if anyone who was with me in the early days of my conventioning, I bought a plush at, like, every con, and I would have picked up a Haro long time ago had I ever seen a Haro. My plan for making my own personalized Haro, if I ever go as Amuro or whatever, will be to go to Target or Walmart, buy a ball, and then customize that ball into a Haro.
So they're actually a somewhat canonical, like, image of Honoka and Chika from Sunrise's Happy New Year's image, and it's them, like, just holding Haros. It's like, okay, they're just wearing, like, their blazers and just a pair of white pants and, like, red tie, white button-up shirt. I'll just either cosplay as Honoka or Chika and just carry on a Haro with me, and that'll be, like, my last day of the con outfit.
I thought the image had, like, a couple different characters on there.
It had, like, two from Gunpla Build Fighters.
Oh, that's right.
And it had Honoka and Chika in to balance out the image.
And each character was holding a different colored Haro.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's probably going to be my last day of convention.
It comes down
outfit.
more to your preferred Haro coloration.
It actually does, because Chika and Honoka, they're pretty synonymous.
Yeah, they're both the generic leads of their series.
With orange hair.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho. So just kind of like just going around the dealer's hall, they had, like, Gunpla, of course. You got a 2 for $20 deal over at, what was it, like, Anime Books?
Oh, I think so.
Mm-hmm. Well, they were sharing a booth with Anime Books.
Yeah, and they had a few different kits there. There was other stuff that I actually did want, like the Zaku FZ from 0080. Believe they had this. It was one of the places that had a Sazabi, and for $32, which is a steal. And of course, I make high grades for those who are listening, so don't go thinking like, "Whoa, $32! Well, that's really low for the master." No, it's the high grade, but it's still a good price for the high grade. I think they also had a new Gundam there, so a few different CCA things. The one thing I've been looking for, because it's been driving me crazy, is I need the Zaku FS, which is Garma's, because I want that Magella top cannon, because I want that Magella top cannon. There's only 2 ways to get it, and one of the things is out of print. The other one is just kind of hard to find at this point. So, yeah. That being said, I needed to replace my RX-78, so I did, and I was able to get another Zaku, because I need my Zaku army, which is why I also need the Magella top cannon. So my Zaku army can have a Magella top cannon.
Anywho, so just kind of like just going around the dealer's hall. Got my Saber Nesto. I got a couple of keychains of Daya from Love Live because I'm working on a Diet Eat a Bag. Also, that same booth, they had husbando keychains. And I'm like, I need, like, all the Char, like, keychains. So got the Zaku, got, like, a couple, like, rare shark keychains from Japan. Like, okay, next Eat a Bag, Char Aznable. Yes.
You better get a red bag then.
Yes, I will. And, like, here I am, cosplaying as Sayla. I was like, just swing over my husbando. Yeah. And I'm cosplaying as his sister.
Yeah, that's a little weird. You're going to have to start wearing different costumes when you go shopping.
Yeah.
Just throw in one of your, like, Love Live characters and it'll be perfectly fine. I could see one or more of those girls squeeing over Char. Because, sure, why not? One of them has to watch Japanimes. They're in a Japanimes. You'd think they'd watch Japanimes.
Anywho. But yeah, the dealer's hall was pretty solid. They had, like, Fire Emblem voice actors also signing off autographs. A friend of mine said, like, one of his reasons for going to Anime Impulse was just collecting the autographs from Fire Emblem 3 houses over there. It's like, you know what, I usually photograph at conventions. I used to do cosplay photo shoots. But you know what, I'm just going to prioritize just getting all the autograph signatures from Fire Emblem folks.
Yeah, I know people who will have their game or their series or whatever, and they'll just go and do that. I have never really liked autograph lines, so... Plus the problem is, I come from like a semi-comic books background in the world of comic books. Technically, an autographed comic book is worth less than a standard comic book. Unless the person who autographed it is dead. And the reason for that is that the autograph is over the art, and therefore reduces the value because now you've graffitied the art. Ironically. Same thing with books. If you notice, that's why book plates started to become a thing. Because if it's on the cover, you've now ruined the cover.
So with me, when it comes to like just meeting celebrities and people who are involved in things I like, I just take a selfie with them because that means more to me. It has more value to me.
The one thing I thought would be my solution, and this is the Disney me coming out, is to get like a journal or something to use it like a Disney autograph book.
Oh, yeah.
So then I would literally put like the title of a series and then have each person like sign that page. And be like, oh yeah, this is my, my Gundam Origin page with the English cast.
Oh, that sounds like a yearbook.
This is my, because each page I just put a title of a series and then have as many people sign it as could fit on that page and then flip it to the backside if they need to fill out the rest. Or make it a second page for it. And that would be kind of my thing. Not a lot of, like, American voice actors that I would really want to chase after.
I have a select few.
But, I mean, Japanese seiyuu, on the other hand, like, I would love to have a Fate page. Because there's some Fate seiyuu I love. I would love to have an Evangelion page if any of those actors would ever come to America. So, I mean, I would give Megumi Hayashibara her own page. Like, she just gets her own page. I'm sorry, I love you in too many series. You get your own page. You don't even get to... No one gets to share this page with you, ma'am. This is your page.
So the new voice actor for Shinji, Casey Mongolo, actually does show up at Little Tokyo a lot, just kind of just hanging out. It's like, hey, who wants to like just go grab coffee with Shinji?
I would totally do that.
Yeah, they actually had like a meetup last Sunday, but like I don't really feel like driving from Ontario to downtown LA.
Well, no. I mean, on just like if we were going to downtown LA for some other reason, and then suddenly, oh, I just saw on the Twitters that the Shinji guy is in Little Tokyo. He wants to know who is up for ramen. They're like, yeah, we're all for ramen. Let's go. Oh, you wouldn't be vroom. It'd be walking over to. But
yeah, the Casey, he's always asking like advice on Twitter. It's like, hey, do you guys got any ideas for recipes? It's like I'm trying to learn how to cook, and I just want to have more ideas like on how to cook on my own. I really like them. They're very down to earth, and I'd like to meet them and just kind of like just chill in Little Tokyo with them for a bit because they seem like a pretty chill person.
Yeah.
Anywho, so yeah, there was also like a main stage outside the in the anime area where they had like idol performances, idol cover groups. They even had a couple like bands out there too, just providing entertainment. But overall, I felt the vibe was pretty good. Like, even though, like, because when I was looking at the Anime Impulse website, I kind of felt intimidated. It's like, you have all these quote-unquote cosplay guests that I've never heard of. And I'm like, okay, so where are they here? I guess they just showed up and showing up for photo shoots. But to me, those folks aren't really the highlight of this event. I think there's a lot to really explore around the whole show as a whole. Because, like, yeah, check out some of the food that they got there. Check out some of the adoptable kittens they have there. I mean, do some groceries while you're there, too. Because they were, like, selling, like, just Asian groceries. Like, almost like a huge, like, ranch market there. Sans the fish market. And, yeah, and if your stomach can't handle it, it's also a great place for foodies. And there's a couple of, my cosplay friends, like, yeah, we spent more time looking at the food than we were in the anime section.
If that bento wasn't as large as it was,
that was filling.
I probably would have jumped a couple extra booths for a couple extra food things. I'm sure there was like a takoyaki there or something.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah. I can smell it. The nose knows. And it's one of those things where I would have liked to have gotten a few different selections of food. I'm glad I did the bento. I'm glad I got the review out of that. It was delicious. I recommend. Pomona Kitchen has a long line for a reason, as we said. But if they weren't there, this would have been me going, ooh, no, and like that one of those moments like in the cartoons or whatever where the guy, like, they put all the things the person wants around them and their brain can't, like, choose what direction to go first. I think it would have been that. It just been me, like, my head spinning around in circles as, like, steam comes out of my ears.
Overall, I felt this event had a pretty good vibe. Like, even though we were only there for Saturday, ran into some really cool people. I mean, I didn't really get to see a lot of my friends because I think everyone's, like, just doing their own thing in different directions, which is perfectly fine. It was really hard getting, again, because of self-service just kind of being what it is. Just getting in contact with folks, it's, like, pretty hard. It's like, okay, I'm at this location, come find me. But I did get to meet new friends, make new friends, because I actually did run into a couple of gals who were like, oh my god, you're cosplaying from Gundam, I love you. Like, I love you too.
I think all you need is one day. I'm going to say it right here. Because it's not like, oh, you know, you can't miss out on any of those panels. I mean, really, the panels are not really a thing. What I would suggest, if, you know, I don't know how soon that they put up their stuff, but if there's a band you specifically want to see, or a voice actor you specifically want an autograph for, then that's the day you go. You go see your band, you go get your autograph.
And plus, the lines for autographs weren't relatively long either. It was just kind of eyeballing the area, just while exploring. And then
spend the rest of your day exploring this stuff. And you don't really need to go both days. You can get everything you need out of it in one day. And that's a good thing. You know, not every con needs to be 4 days long. Cons can be, you know, if you got all the entertainment and all the things you want in one day, that's great. Like, you know, if this was done at a convention center or a hotel, it'd be a very different story.
It would have a different vibe to it.
Yes.
Like here, it just kind of feels like Weeb shopping mall.
Yeah, it's some sort of Weeb showcase instead of a world showcase.
I like that, Weeb showcase. Okay, Anime Impulse, you need to change your name to Weeb Showcase.
Oh, I'm sure they will totally take that under advisement.
Hashtag Weeb Showcase.
But the thing is, yeah, and this isn't a location where there's a lot of really pretty photo shoot zones either. There is that, like, weird, like, old California looking zone. If you have a character who might be good for old westy kind of stuff, say a Trigun character or a gun sword character or even possibly Westworld.
If you want to, like, sneak in some non-anime stuff there, like, yeah, stick in Westworld.
You have some options here, but for the most part, it's a very banal area that's not going to give you any kind of amazing, oh my god, this place is so beautiful or what have you. So for that reason, it's not like you have to fight people over, you know, the one magic spot of the thing. You could just find your spot wherever and get your photos.
Like, I even saw people sneaking on the merry-go-round to get photos, and I don't think, I don't think that's legal, but security wasn't stopping them, but...
Then it's probably fine. I just don't think... It wasn't running, though.
Yeah, so. It wasn't running, but I did see, like, an old dude, like, okay, I'm gonna do a photo shoot on this carousel.
Yeah, I think it's probably fine. And look, if you're going from Silent Hill 1 or Silent Hill 3, those both have carousel sequences, so you can do that. Or if you're cosplaying from Face Off, do it all dark.
Or our Valentine's Love Live group, had we known this in advance, could have just done our costumes at this con and just took photos there.
This is true. That
Because it has an old Victorian, like, carousel kind of feel. It's not like a modern carousel to the likes of, say, Jesse's Critter Corral, which is a fun carousel. I like that ride.
But if you do Mary Poppins, there you go. So it worked pretty well for Mary Poppins.
All right.
Oh, or if you're Guardians of the Galaxy, not going to be, you can choose your Disney franchise.
So, overall thoughts on Anime Impulse, Jared?
I'm very glad I went. I was really questioning it this morning because I bad headache and just I haven't been feeling well, and I was like, this is going to be like a handful of food trucks, one like tent with like 4 vendors, and this is going to be a waste of our time. And we got there and we ran into people, we saw all the weeb people like gathering together. I'm like, all right, let's see what this is good. And as soon as I walked through the gates, I'm like, oh wow, this is 1,000 times larger than I thought it was going to be. And that's a good thing. And as the day progressed, not only did I get good food in my stomach, which was really helpful, but then also just the exploring and like, oh, new stuff. I mean, there's a whole weird variety of things here, including a booth that has those weird like electronic toilets. And I was like, oh, okay, it's something I didn't expect to see here. And it was there. So there's a lot to see and explore. And honestly, I'm very glad I went. I will gladly go next year. It was a very inexpensive ticket, and the drive isn't great.
It's doable, but it's just sometimes the freeways, when they just like change, it's like, wait, what's going on here?
I think after it, just be aware that it's a little bit of a confusing road, and you really should make sure to plug in which gate it's at, because you could end up entering the wrong side of the Fairplex. As I think we heard someone making comments about that.
There was another exit to the Fairplex that was on the Asian American Expo side, and there's another parking lot for that event, and they were taking people to that direction. Mm-hmm. And the Anime Impulse website told us, like, okay, just go straight to Lot 9.
So yeah, other than the getting there aspect of it, which could cause a little bit of trouble, you're going to have a great time. Like I said, it's a one-dayer, it's an inexpensive ticket. Go with your friends, do some cosplaying, buy some food, check out some like booths and stuff, and just have fun.
Yeah, it's a decent hangout con. I mean, it's not the best prime location for cosplay photos, but if you want to just get selfies with friends and just kind of want to hang out and cosplay, it's a good venue for that.
Yeah.
And have boba at the same time.
Yeah.
All right, with that said, this has been another edition of Zero Hour. Our next con is WonderCon? Yes?
Probably.
So it might be WonderCon, so it might be a while for our next show. So until then, the con is what you make of it, so make it a good one.
Want more karaage.